Welcome to Bridge-Builders, where we connect church lingo and culture with our faith, hoping that this will help us grow in our understanding to live out our purpose. My name is Sung Soo John, and you can call me RJ, and I'm so glad that you are here tuning in to Bridge-Builders. This is our attempt to trying to find ways to build bridges and help you understand the tradition of the church and sometimes answer some questions whenever these questions arise as we are walking in this journey. I did want to ask you, please subscribe and like and hit that notification button because it really helps us further the reach. And today I'm going to talk about some names in the Bible. I do come from a background where name has a significant identity in our lives. For us as Koreans, we use Chinese letters, and each Chinese letter has a particular meaning. And if you knew me and you had been in contact with me, you would know that my Korean name has a meaning. Sung stands for continuing, and Soo stands for best. In conjunction, my name would be continuing the best thing. And if you think about the best thing that happened in my life, it is the grace of Jesus Christ who died for us and my sin. And I am grateful that I'm able to continue that. And I'm able that is my identity. And if you see in the Bible, there are many different names that apparently becomes an identity of a person. And in Chuck No's church, we hear a name that I believe is the longest name in the Bible. And that name is Nebuchadnezzar. If you are in a spelling bee contest, this name may come up, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. See how difficult it is? Nebuchadnezzar. So this name actually has a meaning calling for Nabu, which is the god of Babylonia, which stands for the god of wisdom, to protect the boundary, protect the region. So Nebuchadnezzar is Nabu, God, please protect my offsprings or the territory that I have. And probably because of that, he had been one as known in the history to have very successful military conquest. And as we see in the story of Daniel, he's the one who had conquered the nation of Israel, which we also see in the Bible that it says that God allowed him to do so. There's another story of Nebuchadnezzar that I'm not going to go on right now. But Nebuchadnezzar actually also appears in the movie of Matrix. I don't know if you remember it, but in Matrix, there's this big ship that is like a headquarters of the resistance. And you would know that name is Nebuchadnezzar. Matrix actually has a lot of spiritual symbolism. As you all know, and I'm not saying that it's only Christian, it's a mixture of all these different religions, but there is a heavy taste of Christian spirituality symbolism in that. Because one of the scenes that I actually use a lot during confirmation is the red pill and blue pill scene. If you know that, you'll know. You would also know that Neo, which is the main character's name, is a mixture and regrouping of the One, which stands for the messianic figure like Jesus Christ. And the last city is called the Zion, which is another thing. So we can go on and on and on about the connection and the spiritual connection that we have. I know that there's another controversy over there about so-called the mother of Matrix. So we're not going to go there. But as we continue on into the names of the Bible, I did want to point out some of the names that we see from that book. So in the book of Daniel, there are 4 names that we all know: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah also for me is more familiar when we say Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But we have to remember that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was actually a Babylonian name instead of a Hebrew name. So Daniel, which is the Hebrew name, even throughout the book when we're talking about Babylon, he does have a Babylon name called Belteshazzar, but hardly used and called in that name. And he's always addressed as Daniel. Whereas Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah are all referred by their Babylonian name, which that's just odd. But I thought that I share the Hebrew names of Daniel and his three friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, and the meanings of their name. Daniel has a meaning that says, God is my judge. And it kind of comes out in the whole story that he would have his, whether you call it moral compass, whatever his action was, as if he is in front of God. Hananiah has a meaning called Yahweh is gracious. And Mishael has a meaning, who is what God is, or it also means who is like God. And Azariah has a meaning of Yahweh has helped. I'm not saying that just because their names had this meaning, but somehow the name formed an identity for these four friends to continue to be faithful in their journey and also under the oppression of Babylon. Then the question comes down to asking, what is the meaning of your name? And how is that forming and building our identity in Christ?